Hi.
Welcome.
You welcome.
To Roses and Thorns.
Yeah.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Ryan.
And we're going to talk about Bachelor in Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
We're back.
We're a couple of weeks behind.
Yes.
Or just a week behind. But a lot of episodes behind.
We're talking about episode 8, which I guess is week 5, part 1. In this crazy
episode
world.
That is fucking 3 hours long.
God.
Like, we watched it on Hulu, and like
it was still over 2 hours long without
luckily
commercials.
Kelly shells out the big bucks, or has the big bucks to pay for the no commercials.
The $4 extra a month, no brag.
And it reduced the amount of time we had to watch it.
It's
a lot.
The only reason I pay for without commercials is to watch The Bachelor without commercials.
Or else it would be 3 hours.
Yeah. And I had thought about putting it back down to the regular plan. Mm-hmm. And then this whole thing came up where we were going to have to watch it on Hulu. I was like, well, I guess we're going to keep it for a little bit longer.
What else do we use to watch? I mean,
we watch all of our like normal shows during the seasons.
During the regular seasons.
But I don't mind commercials.
It's a good time to go to the bathroom.
Right? Or like get a snack.
Yeah. But
I don't mind commercials.
Mainly for Bachelor.
Yeah, I don't have time to sit through all these commercials for a 2-hour show, let alone for a 3-hour show. Crazy. Anyway, yeah, so we're behind because we've had a pretty busy couple of weeks.
Yeah. And we're still going to have a busy week this week, but we're going to try to do a couple episodes, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get caught up this week. Ryan's brother is getting married on Saturday, so there's family events and stuff.
Yeah,
so
like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe even Sunday.
Thursday as well?
Thursday is the, what's it called? What happened, like the rehearsal?
On Thursday?
Yeah.
So what's Friday?
Friday is family dinner.
Oh, it's not included as part of the rehearsal?
No. So it's just like a dinner at my parents' house.
Oh, okay.
And then also Thursday is the day that you should come to.
I should come on Thursday as well.
It's to TNT.
Okay. I thought that was Friday.
No, that's Thursday.
Okay. All right. So Ryan and I are going to fill out our calendar after this. Anyway, so yeah, we're definitely not going because it's currently Tuesday. So we're not going to have time to catch up.
We could do one tomorrow, but
yeah.
I'm going to be pretty busy.
Okay.
With like just work because I'm taking Thursday and Friday off.
Okay. So we'll do what we can with these episodes,
We'll catch up. We have Hulu.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be November, but we'll get there.
Yeah. You guys will still be subscribed, right?
We'll finish this before the next Bachelor season starts, which, by the way, we've had an announcement.
Yeah.
Do you remember on our last episode where I told you my theory about who?
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my theory was that Colton could be the next Bachelor or a Bachelor, and I was right.
What was your reasoning?
I just thought, I think the reasons we were saying we didn't think he was going to be the next Bachelor didn't seem valid when we compared him to Nick Viall.
Oh, okay.
Because Nick was on Paradise. People didn't really like Nick. They didn't want him to be the Bachelor, and yet they did it anyway. And so now we have Colton. People didn't want him to be the Bachelor. I think their ratings aren't going to be as high as they think they're going to be. Also, I think we should play a drinking game while we watch Colton's season, and we take a drink every time they reference him being a virgin.
Sure.
We're going to get trashed.
Should we... Okay. Should I talk about the news I just talked about?
Sure, yeah. You can just bring it up. Yeah.
Okay. So I just looked it up, and I guess it's pretty recent because it didn't really pop up on my Reddit feed today. I feel like I should have saw it. But Amanda, I don't know what her name is, but she was on Ben Higgins' season, apparently. And she was arrested for, was it domestic violence?
Yeah, that's what you said.
But she was drunk at the time, and
Possibly drugged.
And she pushed Bobby, which I'm assuming is her boyfriend.
Because it said they were still together.
Yeah.
So that must be her boyfriend.
Uh-huh. And so they think someone slipped her something, which... I mean, I think if a woman looks like she's with another man, it's less likely that she's gonna get drugged.
Less likely, but not unlikely.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little skeptical about that. Their theory, tales. She could have just been drunk.
I have heard tales of people getting drugged when they were with someone.
Okay.
And it wasn't the person they were with who drugged them.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
It's possible.
All right. But
it's not probable
that
it's possible. Okay. Did you say where you got that from? TMZ?
I mean, TMZ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wondered. I feel like they're actually usually accurate, like as trashy as a source as they are. I feel like they're usually accurate.
Usually I don't know if they use the same, like...
I don't know if accurate's the right term, but they're not usually lying.
Yeah.
You know.
They may have, like, exaggerated... They usually maybe exaggerate a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
to make it sound more interesting.
Yeah, but it's probably true.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. If we hear any more news, we'll follow up.
Yeah.
I just want to catch up on The Bachelor so I can get back on Twitter. That's all I want. I just
yeah, and so like I'm sure there's way more news. I saw posts or like in that comment section to like find out more about it. There was like, what's going on? So there must be a bunch of other stuff going on, but I can't really look at it because I don't want to see too many spoilers because I've already seen like hints of spoilers of like what happened yesterday and also just now today. Okay. But I need to like try to avoid that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I haven't opened Twitter in like since the last episode. Actually, I opened it last Monday. It was like 5:30 Pacific time. I was like, oh no. And so I closed it because it was about Tia and Colton breaking up.
Oh, okay.
So like, which we had already surmised from the previews. So yeah, but I didn't know he was the next Bachelor at that point. Mm-hmm. So anyway, do you just want to like get into it? Because I feel like this was a really long episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we have a lot to say.
Since we're kind of talking about Colton and Tia already, we want to just jump onto them.
Let's just go ahead.
Get the hard part. Not hard, but just like
just get out of the way.
Just get out of the way.
Also, just like a quick note, if you haven't realized, the way that we group this is by couples. So we group our conversations about it by couples rather than the chronological order that they show on the TV, which is actually not a chronological order. It's just the way they feel like the stories fit best together.
Yeah, which I find super deceptive.
It's very strange because it's like things look like they're happening on the same day, but they're not.
Mm-hmm. They're wearing something different, and then they're wearing the clothes from the previous day. And
then you see them at the rose ceremony. You're like, hey, weren't you wearing that 3 days ago?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna group it by couples. So we'll start with Tia and Colton because it was kind of like it's a pretty big story, you know?
I guess. Yeah, it is for everybody else.
Yeah. So. Where the last episode had left off, Angela and Eric had been kind of rocked because Eric decided to go on a date with Cassandra because he woke up that day and felt different, you know?
Yeah.
And so
of course,
everyone is like, oh no, mostly the women are like, oh no, what kind of, like, what's happening in my relationship then? And Tia's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Colton and I are good. We're fine. And she's saying this to people. And like talking to Colton, she's like, right now, I'm really grateful that you were honest, that you were kind of confused before. Because
and
like,
he was honest about it. And then
you're
actually
honest.
Before she was saying how he was like, he doesn't know what he wants and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, but he's at least telling you the truth about it.
Yeah. Which we commended him for. We're not fans of Colton, but like we commended him for like being like pretty as straightforward as he could be.
About like, I don't want to commit to you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's talking about this and he's just like avoiding eye contact.
Yeah,
like,
he was just like eating
somewhere else.
He was eating his breakfast in the pool, which I think like every mom is like, don't do that. You know?
You have to wait half an hour before you eat.
You want tummy cramps? You want tummy cramps? That's how you get tummy cramps. Okay, so I saw it coming because Tia was talking. No, not Tia. Yeah, Tia was talking in the background, and then you see Kevin all of a sudden, and there was like this foreboding music happening. I was like, what the fuck does Kevin have to do with any of this?
Kevin's the one everybody confides in.
Yeah, exactly. So like, okay, I guess that's why. And so maybe they know that like if Kevin's gonna come talk to somebody, it's bad news. So Kevin, it looks like Kevin and Colton like walked together to the couch to talk about the whole thing. But like, you know, before that, it looked like it was just Kevin walking.
Sure.
Anyways, but Colton's like, he thinks he's forcing it. He can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
He's like giving this sob story about like, I do everything to make everybody else happy, and then think I'm only doing this to make Tia happy.
Which is an important realization.
I guess so, but like it's not that hard to do that. I feel like it's pretty easy to say like, I guess I'm not into this, and like, you know, you can feel bad about it. It's like, I'm sorry, this is what I was doing. I didn't realize it. But like for him to have dramatized it so much, I think was a little bit of an over-exaggeration.
I guess I understood that this was like a realization for him. That this is the way, like this is a pattern. I thought he was just coming to this like realization that it wasn't something he knew before.
Okay.
So then it would be dramatic because you're like having an epiphany where you're like, whoa, all these major events in my life have been determined by other people's expectations and other people's wants. And then I haven't thought of myself in these times.
Sure.
But it's possible that he was just being dramatic.
Yeah. Well,
but I really liked this moment between Kevin and Colton because it was like a really vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kevin had his hand on Colton's shoulder, which is like not like men often don't touch each other affectionately.
I was that. When you said that, I didn't notice that. But when
he even rubbed his thumb or his finger a little bit on his shoulder, and they like patted him, you know, because you gotta do a pat.
Because I don't think I would do that with any of my guy friends.
Even if they were crying,
I might not even make eye contact.
But Kevin's been to therapy a lot. He's had somebody there when he's crying.
He knows how to handle it maybe a little bit better. Maybe his therapist is a male.
Oh yeah, so he'd be a lot more comfortable with like men expressing emotions and like how to comfort them.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't know. I really liked it. I feel like men don't get to express their emotions very often. So we do see it a lot on the show because there's a lot of upsetting things that happen. But then to also have that like connection that you often don't see between men.
Yeah. I guess another thing, I wrote it down, but I didn't really put it together. But like maybe he saw him, Colton, doing this, like doing it because he was only trying to make Tia happy. And if you're just kind of playing along and not really being in it with somebody, it's pretty much the same thing as lying to them. And so like maybe he's like, he sees it like that and he's like, oh my gosh, I've been fucking lying to her and I feel so bad about it or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is like if you are just trying to do what the other person wants you to do but making it seem like it's what you want, then it's kind of deceptive.
Yeah.
Even though you have the best intentions.
Also, I still just think the whole thing is just for Colton to try to become famous too.
I mean, I understand that. I think that that's kind of like a cynical view.
It is, but I don't know.
I tend to lean towards a naive view, though.
Okay.
So.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's how we balance each other out.
Also, my coworker like really jaded me about Colton too. About just
really
like how she really thinks that he's out to get famous or become an actor or something like that.
He would just be such a bad actor. Like, I really think he'd be such a bad actor. The first time he cried,
I kind of believed him.
I believe him. But
the second time, I don't. This time, I don't really believe his crying.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Because we didn't see him actually crying. I mean, he did tear up a couple times, but like all the other times that he was crying, it was like his face was covered or something like that.
Sure.
Which could have been just like voiced over or something.
Sure. But
that's the cynical side of it, though.
Yeah, but also, don't most people cover their face when they cry? They don't want people to see them crying. Most people cover their face. Mm-hmm. If I'm crying and I have a hood, I put my hood up. Mm. Maybe that's the naive side.
Okay, but at this point...
Anyway, Colton and Tia...
Yeah, we find out that he's going to break up with her.
Yeah. They talk... He asks Tia to go talk, and she's like, over here? He's like, let's go away from everybody. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they end up breaking up. I don't think there's anything really notable about the breakup itself.
Okay. There's just one part that I know is going to come back in probably throughout the entire season of, Colton's season.
Okay.
Is that Tia says, you need to figure this out for you to fully give yourself to somebody. Mm-hmm. That's going to be replayed a couple times in his season. Okay. Because, that's what he has to do. He has to do that right now until his season so that, he can actually become a good bachelor. Do
you think they're going to have Tia come on his season?
I
give him advice at the end or whatever?
Put that past. Yeah. Just kind of like how Nick had his person come talk to him before a rose ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Tia will be a contestant on his season?
I feel like that's unfair. Maybe after week 4?
Oh, she comes in a little bit late, so she's a little bit of a disadvantage.
But Nick also she has an advantage too.
Yeah. No, but because she has an advantage, coming in late gives her a little bit of a disadvantage, which evens out
exactly
her advantageousness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nick, they brought him in week 4, but I don't think he knew The Bachelorette. I think he was just like, hey, I really want to be on this season.
Maybe they knew that The Bachelorette wanted to meet him. Mm-hmm. So there was already a little bit of a favor in his way. Mm-hmm. Or whatever.
Yeah, whatever that expression is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tia's like, I don't know how to be here without you. Mm-hmm. So they both leave. Colton's like, I'm leaving. And she's like, okay, then me too.
Pretty much.
And then Colton leaves with just a backpack.
And doesn't talk to anybody.
And I don't blame him. I mean, I would say bye to people, but I can understand why he wouldn't want to, where he's just upset and just wants to not cry in front of everyone.
I feel like that's a little... shows his age. Shows his maturity.
It does, but it also makes me believe he is actually crying because he doesn't want to cry in front of people. And if you're being that emotional, you don't want to break down in front of everyone. If you're barely holding it together, how are you going to go and talk to people?
Tia did it.
She's comfortable crying in front of people.
Was she crying in front of people when she was saying bye?
She was sobbing. Okay. When she came in, she definitely was sobbing.
Okay.
But she seems much more comfortable crying in front of people.
Sure. Okay. Well, still, I feel like he should have said bye to people.
Etiquette, yes. But if that's emotionally not what you can handle, I think it's fine.
But to maybe collect yourself and then say bye. I feel like that's what you should have done. I don't know. Anyways.
But if you're holding on by a thread, it could take you days or weeks to collect yourself. I don't know. I understand it. Okay. I completely understand it.
All right.
Anyway, Tia and Colton are done. Bye.
Yeah, bye. I'm so glad that's over.
Yes. But
we have 3 more episodes and we don't have to watch them.
They'll come up again. Don't worry. But between Eric and Angela and now Tia and Colton, none of the couples feel safe. And now even the men are affected where they're like, whoa, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. Everyone feels shook.
Yeah.
Shaken.
Can we talk about how John missed the whole thing?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Well, okay. Well, it was a little bit after.
Yeah, it was after the whole Jenna and Jordan thing.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Sure. Okay. So Jenna's really upset.
Yeah, she was really shook by that news.
That she was afraid that Jordan could just suddenly change his feelings, just like she felt like Eric and Colton had done. And then so Jordan sees Jenna crying, and he was like, "Don't be upset about Tia and Colton." Mm-hmm. Really? That's what you think she's so upset about? Really?
I mean, it seems like a very surface level guy thing to think that's a woman is upset about. But she was more upset that like anything can happen in the middle of a relationship.
Nothing's safe.
Like Tia was talking about her future with Colton, how she wishes that he'll get engaged or she'll get engaged with him by the end of this, and like kids, homes, whatever. And then so she was like really shook up by this. And eventually Jordan figured it out.
She like yelled at him and pushed him. She said something like, "You're just gonna hurt me," or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, this is not what I thought it was."
Yeah. Anyways, Jordan does a pretty good job of diffusing it a little bit.
Better than I'd expect Jordan to do.
Yeah. But I think during that conversation, they got I don't know. It made Jenna feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Whether or not he was actually good at comforting someone, he was good at comforting Jenna. Yeah. She felt comforted by the conversation, and I'm not sure everyone would have. But yeah. So then he's doing his interview with the camera, and he's like recapping everything.
Yeah.
And then we see John wander out.
It's so funny because Jordan was just like, "Hey, what the fuck? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You're like, walking in the middle of my interview." And he was like, "Oh, I just want to give you a hug." And then gives him a hug. And like Jordan's like upset, but can't help it be like happy or whatever. Like, I don't know. Thinks it's like a funny joke or something. And then like he finds out from Jordan's like, "Oh, you missed the whole." Well, I was just talking about the whole Colton Tia thing. How they're like they just went home, and then John's like, "What?" I was sleeping. No, I was taking a nap the whole time.
John said, "Have you seen Tia and Colton? I haven't seen them in a while."
Oh, okay.
And Jordan's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "They broke up and they went home." And he's like, "Oh, I was taking a nap."
He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was all set up. I don't think it was set up Jordan-wise. I think Jordan was, like, not involved in the setup. But I think somebody was like, "Hey, John, like, go do this." Because otherwise, like, it doesn't make sense otherwise. Why would John just come over to give Jordan a hug?
In the middle of the interview?
And why would he...
It seems like...
Everyone on the island... Everyone in that area, all these different places to hide. Why would it be a big deal that he hadn't seen Tia or Colton in a couple hours?
Sure.
You know, like they're just probably off making out somewhere.
Maybe.
So I think it was set up, which makes it less funny. But it was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
He played it off well enough.
Well enough. And then it almost seemed like John interrupts his interviews a lot.
Does he?
I don't know, but it was just like how he was like
you got
that he was like upset that like, "What are you doing here?" or something like that. It was just I don't know. Whatever.
All right, are we ready to go back to Angela and Eric and Cassandra?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so Eric goes on his date with Cassandra, and like Angela's understandably upset.
Yeah, she was crying the whole time.
Which she basically thought this was her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like he had said he was all in. He had said to the camera that he was like falling for her. He had told her that she was his queen, which whatever. And he wouldn't go, and they wouldn't go on any dates with anybody else. And he wouldn't go on dates with anyone else. Whoops. And then like he wakes up and feels the sunshine and suddenly he's different. Yeah. The next day. Not like a couple days later, the next fucking day. Day after like their date and the rose ceremony where he had said that he was all in. You know, when the women had the power. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. And so like he's on his date and he's telling Cassandra he's just looking for honesty. And Cassandra says she can tell that Eric is upfront and honest. While Angela's back home, like reeling from the effect of his lies. Because I mean, there's no way around it. Eric was lying. Yeah. He was lying. You can't wake up and feel that fundamentally different. Like, that's not... I understand feelings are tricky, but I just don't think that's how they work. I mean, just because somebody walks in. Yeah. And then you weren't all in.
I mean, she is very pretty.
Yes.
But
you weren't all in.
No.
At that point then.
No.
You lied.
All that should have happened is like, oh, she's pretty. Like, I guess I have to introduce myself because I'm going to be living on the fucking beach with her. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what all in is probably.
And I understand maybe he felt like he was all in. And then she came in and he was like, maybe I'm not all in. Okay. Then be honest with Angela and don't say you woke up and felt differently. Like, at least be honest and say, like, when Cassandra walked in, I realized that maybe I didn't have as strong feelings for you as I thought I did. That's all you had to say. Just be fucking honest.
Well, that's just too hard to say.
It's easier to blame the sun.
So he, on their date, he says he's a big giver. And then that was kind of where him and Angela didn't sync up because she liked to take things slow. And he felt like he wasn't getting as much as he was giving.
Yeah. It sounded like he didn't feel like Angela was warm enough in their relationship.
Yeah. And then he was saying...
Which isn't what we were seeing. They looked pretty cuddly and close and everything. But...
Maybe he was expecting more.
Do you mean giving, blowjobs?
Maybe at least a hand job.
Okay. So maybe you're thinking sexually though.
At least passion.
Okay.
At least.
At least dry humping.
Maybe a little.
What's passion?
What
does passion look like?
I don't know. You know how we just have normal kisses, and then sometimes I grab your face.
Yeah.
Like that.
Face grabs.
Face grabs, butt grabs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. I'm with you. Continue.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also when he was talking about I just wanted to me and Angela, he was saying me and Angela are good, but I wanted to keep an open mind about other possibilities and stuff like that. And I want to make sure what I have with Angela is really what I think it is. And I feel like if he had just said that to Angela, that would have been just fine.
Yeah.
Instead of making up this bullshit so that you can go on a date with Cassandra.
Yeah. And again, that's not the definition of all in, but at least it's honest.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so Eric gets... Oh, did you want to say anything else about the actual date?
Okay, I want to know what the fuck happened from after the parade until fucking nighttime when they get back.
I don't know. It was a very long day.
Because there was not,
and we only
also
saw
with a
daylight.
double date too, which is crazy. But okay, sorry. So
yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe they actually eat since they get a chance to eat on the date because they just had popsicles.
Yeah,
popsicles aren't part of a date, but that's fine. Yeah. Anyway, so Eric gets back from his date and fucking ignores Angela. Ignores her they haven't spent the last several weeks together.
Yeah.
What the hell?
At least acknowledge her. Go even if you're gonna still kind of hang out with Cassandra a little bit more. At least go talk to her.
We have seen several people who are coupled up go on a date, and when they come back, they go and they talk to their original person. At least a little bit. At least say hello. Say hello.
I know. Look at her and wave or something. And from what we saw, we didn't see that. And
we didn't see
what other people saw, they didn't see that either.
Anything.
And Angela, she
was cool as a cucumber.
She is cool as a cucumber after that point.
Around other people, she was really calm and collected. I mean, when she talked to Eric, she started her eyes started to water, but she was way more together than I would have been. At the moment where he ignored me, I would my eyes would have started watering immediately. I know it. There's no way I would have been hold back tears. But she just was hey, Chelsea, why don't we go down to the bar down there? And they go down to the bar. Just to get away from Eric and his new woman.
Yeah.
And then so then Eric eventually does find her. He's like, hey, do you want to talk?
And she's like, oh yeah, sure. Like nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then
so impressive.
And then like she did that whole talk, and then she went and talked to Cassandra herself, and was like, hey, would you like to talk for a second? Like,
yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to, like, before you went too far ahead.
No, I was just like saying the points where it's like, hey, like how she just sounds absolutely normal.
How
like,
together she was through all that.
At least like those moments.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah.
I mean, she was freaking out the whole day, but then once they came back, like, you would have never known.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was very impressed.
Sorry.
No, I thought you were going to, like, keep talking about
no.
going on.
I just
I'm like, no, I want to go back to Eric.
Point out those moments.
So when she talks to Eric, he's like trying to turn it around and make it seem like Angela's the one who wasn't all in. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I mean, like, I was all in, and then, like, I woke up and I felt differently. And she said, I'm not understanding how 8 hours of sleep can lead to all these questions.
Yeah.
And he said at one point, I want to get to a point where you're all in, like I'm all in.
Yeah.
And she says, I don't feel like you're all in based on your actions this morning. Mm-hmm. And he says, that's your opinion. Like, no, that's just evidence-based facts.
Yeah. Like what you did today, it means that you are not in it.
Yeah. This is not the definition of all in. You are not all in because you went on a date with someone else.
Yeah.
That is not all in.
Yeah. And then he also lied to her.
Yeah.
Saying that he wouldn't go on a date with anybody else.
Yeah. He was like trying to save himself.
Like a little bit with her as much as he could.
But I don't even know what the fuck he was doing. It seemed like he wanted to end things with Angela. Like from that conversation, it seemed like he wanted to end things with Angela, but he didn't want to be the one at fault for it. He wanted to be her fault because she wasn't all in. And she, like, I don't think anyone there thought she wasn't all in. So, like, he's just spouting bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was really frustrating.
Yeah.
So I liked that Angela went and talked to Cassandra and wasn't a bitch about it.
Yeah.
She had an actual conversation.
Exactly. It was this. I think this is what they call, I don't know, sharing some tea. Yeah.
Spilling the tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some truth.
Yeah.
With Cassandra. Where it's just like, this is what happened. This is exactly what he said to me, like, yesterday.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of a sudden he says, he's going on a date with you. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. It was like,
and it was like the opposite
of
open
conversation.
Yeah. And then like, it was the opposite of what he told
Cassandra
before the date and like during the date and everything. And then, you know, it changed Cassandra's mind until the rose ceremony.
It was making her think twice about Eric.
Yeah. And then, so Cassandra goes and talks to, are you done with them talking?
Yeah.
Cassandra goes and talks to Eric, and she was talking about what Angela had just told her, and how was he trying to spin it?
She was saying what Angela had told her, and he's like, no, like I said this. And she's like, but Angela said this. And he's like, maybe she misunderstood me. It's like, she didn't misunderstand you. She just repeated your words verbatim.
Yeah, but you...
He was again trying to make it seem like it was Angela's fault.
Exactly, but as a third party, which Cassandra is, how do you know, you know?
Yeah, and you don't know. And so, like, she's getting all these, like, different sides of things.
Yeah.
And she just started to feel like,
but
there's something weird here, and she just didn't know what it was.
But she was very inclined to believe Angela's side of things, though. And then Eric tries to, like, puts his hand on her leg and was like, I just don't want you to get in the middle of this. You know,
and her face was like, she like, get your fucking hand off of me.
I think she did like a eye roll, kind of like.
Well, like big eyes.
She was just like,
eye roll.
Are
like,
you fucking serious
what are
right
you
now?
Doing? And she's like, well, I am a part of this. So.
I am of it. I am part of it now.
Yeah. So she just seemed like she was over it. She said he could approach it differently and that she wants somebody who's not going to be so disrespectful.
Yeah. She says it was a big turn off.
Yeah.
And let's go to bed.
Yeah. And Eric looked kind of pissed.
That he lost 2 women that day.
Yeah. He didn't seem to understand that he was in the wrong. That he did something wrong and now you live with it.
Yeah. And then at the rose
You don't have to be
ceremony,
mad at these women.
he thought that he was in charge of 2 women's fate that day.
He's like, John and I are similar in that we're controlling the fate of 2 of these women. It's like, no, Angela doesn't want your stinky, dirty fucking rose.
She really doesn't.
You ruined that. So the next thing that I have is Kevin and Astrid.
Yeah.
Okay. So Astrid is expressing concerns about the day's events. She's, I mean, like most people there, she's like now wondering what's going to happen.
What could happen?
Yeah. And she's talking to him and saying something like, do you still feel the same way about me? And he is just like looking off into space and doesn't respond immediately. And I was like, oh no.
I didn't notice this.
I was so worried.
Okay.
And then I guess the reason is that like, he doesn't feel the same. He feels like more.
Okay.
Because he's like, it's amazing how like we both came in and we only had eyes for each other, which is not true. He dated Crystal, whatever, put that aside. He's like, I just like, we're so lucky and like, I'm falling in love with you. And so it was nice. Yeah. But like, he made me very worried for a second. But they didn't play the music right for me to really think that was what was going to happen. It was just like, he was just staring off into space. And I think it was just like...
Maybe him just formulating the words he wanted to say.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like they had a really good moment. They realized that they're happy.
Yeah. And if we're staying by couples, then Kevin and Astrid get a date later in the day, week, month, whatever it is.
You want to talk...
Yeah, let's go talk about their date.
Well... And
then we can come back to why they went on date.
Oh, okay, sure.
Unless we want to talk about everything. You want to talk about all of it?
Yeah, I feel like we should go at least in that chronological order.
Let's do it.
So Ashley and well, she's just Ashley here.
She's the only Ashley.
And Jared walk in.
Yes.
And they had all the couples have to talk to them to get a date card. I was like, that's going to be super awkward.
Yeah.
For Kevin. It's like, can you please give me, he's not gonna say that, but you have to like give your reason for getting a date card.
Yeah.
And like, I guess Ashley has a little bit of an obligation to give him a date card.
I would hope that if that was actually what was going to happen, that she would have given him a date card. Yeah, it's like, you've just ruined my day. Can you please give me a date card?
I mean, not just she did ruin his day that day, but she ruined multiple days after they broke up. Like months, probably.
Yeah. But fake out, they don't actually decide who gets the date. Instead, they're there for love. Aww.
Jared proposes.
Yeah. They played some like flashbacks of their relationship and it seemed super rocky and I don't know if this was a good idea.
I mean, maybe now maybe it's not rocky at all. Maybe it's just like what they had to get past.
I just don't know what happened in between.
Yeah, because like from what we saw, we didn't watch, was it the second season?
Season 2, yeah.
We don't know, for all we saw is that he was just not interested in her.
Yes.
And
when did he decide to become interested in her?
Right. Because when I'm not interested in a woman, I'm forever really not interested in her.
Did he just become interested in her because she was dating someone else?
Yeah, probably. So maybe he was a little interested in her, but like maybe her interest in him was maybe off-putting.
So she was like too clingy or whatever.
Or
which
too
would totally,
available.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he was like, nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I guess that could be the thing. Like, he said something about, like, timing. Like, it's all about the timing. It's like, oh, the best time was when she was in another relationship. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyways, everybody's, like, congratulating them and everything. And then, like, I was thinking to myself, Kevin has, no obligation to go congratulate them. But he at least goes and congratulates Ashley.
Okay.
I don't know if he even acknowledges Jared, because like maybe he blames him for everything that happened to their relationship. So I didn't see that happen, but maybe he did.
Either way, I mean, it was good of him to even come down to the beach.
Exactly.
Like, it was like big of him.
Very big of him.
I'm not gonna say good because it wouldn't have been bad if he didn't. It's just it was big of him.
Also, Asher didn't even go down. That's what she said.
Oh, okay.
Like, in solidarity, I guess, for him. Because it seemed like Kevin came a little bit later.
I could see Astrid not being, like, so gung-ho about, like, being at her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend's engagement.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't feel a need to talk to your ex-girlfriend if she got engaged in front of us. Because
if you wanted to hang back and then, like, it's like, well, I guess I should say congratulations, and you want to say no, I'm good.
Yeah,
you can say her. Right?
And Kevin seemed to kind of be having a hard time with this.
Yeah.
I think part of it, I think there were like several factors. One being that Ashley came into paradise, like not like his domain, but like he's been living there for a few weeks now.
He's not the mayor of it, but to do that in front of him.
But yeah, I mean, just like come in, like so unexpected.
I feel like Ashley didn't even acknowledge that he was in the crowd.
Yeah, which is pretty rude.
Yeah.
But then just like her coming in, like getting engaged, like in what's supposed to be his paradise, you know? And then like, I think that made him reflect on his relationship with Ashley and how like maybe it wasn't that healthy. And then also she cheated on him. And he alludes to that maybe he was her first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like that was pretty obvious. I think she had announced that she's no longer a virgin or something.
Oh, did she?
Like after, I don't know, a couple weeks.
There was something like on when they did like the Winter Games like reunion
You're like that,
or whatever,
like kind of like they're after the rose or something.
Yeah, I think like Chris Harrison asked her, and she like laughed, and she's like, "Oh, a woman doesn't tell," or something like that. Yeah. You know, yeah. Okay.
Cool. So yeah, they reflect. He's reflecting on that, and then like they kind of seem like in a bad spot for a little bit. Like he was. What did I say? He's in his head about the whole situation, what just happened right in front of him. And I was thinking, like, I really hope there is a date card and that he gets it.
Yes, right? Because at this point, we didn't even know there was really going to be a date card.
Yeah.
Because this was all, like, some sort of, not a prank, but, you know, it's like, was the date card a joke altogether? So it's nice that there really was a date card. And it was very nice the date card went to Kevin and Astrid, because it just seemed like this show has been making me very frustrated, because I naively thought that the premise of the show was to help people find love.
No. For the drama. Did you know that? Do you know that now? I do know that, but I don't want to believe it's going to be like that forever. And I know that that's stupid, but I can't watch this show knowing that the idea is to bring couples together to tear them apart. I can't. Like, I can't do that. So I'm going to keep believing that they're like, one day it's going to be a much better show. But I was just glad to see that finally the producers were doing something to keep a couple together. Because Kevin and Astrid, I think, really needed this time together after the events of the day. You know? Yeah.
where it's like, I don't think that their relationship was in jeopardy, but they were having a rough time after the engagement.
Yeah,
or like Kevin was having a rough time.
Yeah, and it would have been very nice for them to have some alone time to build on their relationship in a setting that's not in a place that they're kind of locked in.
Yeah, just like get away from people.
Yeah. And then have a mariachi band and dancers dance around them in a pool while they made out. It's such a weird date.
Yeah.
It's so awkward.
Yeah. But Kevin like mentioned that he's had some insecurities in relationships. I think it's just like the whole like event of Ashley and Jared getting engaged just like brought up a lot of things to him, and he admits that he's never felt good enough for a relationship. And I can definitely see how someone cheating on you does not help that insecurity. But Astrid tells him that earlier when she said she was falling for him, she was kind of downplaying it, and that she's actually in love with him, which I'm sure was very nice for him to hear.
Okay. And did he say it back? I know I asked you.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not saying no. I'm saying I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's all we have for
That's
them.
all I have for them. The next thing I have is Chris and his baby hairs. I thought it was really funny. I just wrote a little bit. So Chris, I'm pretty sure we've all noticed those like little hairs along his forehead line.
I thought it was just like shaved.
I assumed it was just like constant stubble, and I think that's what it is.
That's what I thought it was.
I think it's that he's like, I don't like my hairlines, I'm going to shave it, but he doesn't shave it enough that we see that like those baby hairs coming up that look really stupid. Like when Jordan shaved it and we saw him come out, I was like, that looks so much better.
Yeah.
Keep your hair like that all the time.
Yeah.
Or don't shave it at all. But
so it actually really gets long,
need to let it grow out, and that's going to take a while. So like Jordan's complaining that he trimmed it at all because he's like, no, they're not going the right direction. They're not trained. But so my favorite part of this is that like, okay, so Jordan shows his baby hairs. Chris comes out and all the men just start cheering for him.
Like he just like he's like no longer a virgin or something. Like, woo, yeah, you finally did it.
I just love like when watching like men have these like wholesome moments where they're just, I don't know, they're just being regular people. And I don't get to see that side of men very often because that's not what they show on TV. And I just thought it was really nice.
Okay.
Men supporting other men.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Ryan's unimpressed. That's
Sorry.
fine.
I don't know. I don't really run into that with my friends.
I feel like we're being boring today. Should we have done a shot?
Maybe.
We're drinking wine. We thought wine was the secret. But I'm also still in Ohio time.
Maybe
it's 2 a.m.
I feel like I'm not being entertaining either. Maybe it's just not enough wine.
Do we need to drink the entire bottle?
We can try that. I'm definitely not tipsy as
I don't want to do that.
As I usually am when we are actually entertaining. Yeah. Or I'm entertaining. Anyway,
we pre-gamed a little bit.
A beer.
We're trying. We're trying to be entertaining.
Well, okay. Since we're talking about Chris, we basically had nothing about
Chris and Crystal were solid. I mean, she was like a little worried about like the whole thing, and he's like, "Don't be worried, we're fine." And she's like, "Okay, thanks, bye."
Yeah,
and that was
like I guess that was it. Like if I have any insecurities or whatever, I'll talk to you about it. She's like, "Okay."
Yeah, it was a really simple conversation. So yeah, she was feeling a little bit insecure about the relationship, and he's like, "Don't be, we're fine."
Yeah.
If we're not, I'll tell you. So, I'm glad they're doing all right. So in walks Shoshana.
Shoshana, that's an odd name.
She's from Ben Higgins season. She's Armenian. Sometimes they call her Shu.
I feel like Shu is so much easier to say than Shoshana.
I think Shoshana's fine.
Shoshana.
Shoshana's a name.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, yeah, okay.
I've never. Is it?
I don't know a person named Shoshana, but
Eastern
it
European?
didn't sound like a weird name to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anyone named Shoshana. It's just not a weird name to me.
I've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Anyways, she walks in with a date card, and she's doesn't seem like she talks to anybody, and then she just like has a little like talk, like a little like I don't know, just
like a little brief conversation with Kamil.
Yeah, about like, where are you from or something. I was like, I'm from Poland or whatever. And then she's like, something like that. It's like, oh, and then there's like tiny spark.
Yeah.
And then so like at least like interest is peaked a little bit.
Yeah. And then Kristen comes in and she also has a date card.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Two women just walked in back to back.
They're going to have to like fight for the one person. Like, of course, they're going to want to take the one person out. And then, both of them are going to want to take one person out and then they have to fight over them. And then someone's going to have to settle with another person. But instead, they are going on a double date.
Double date.
And there's
double date night.
Not that many men available.
There really aren't. I mean, apparently Eric is flexible now.
Yep.
John has been pretty open.
Yep. And then somehow Kamil was available.
Yeah.
From what Kamil said, they have a mutual understanding or agreement about exploring options. But from what it sounds like from Annalise is that he's not going to go on a date.
He's not going to go on a date, but she says even if he does, it's okay. They're allowed to explore.
She said that?
Yeah. Oh. She was saying that like they had talked about it and it's okay because they don't want to miss out on the like experience. But like,
was that before the date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she they had talked about it and they don't want to miss out on the experience of meeting other people. But when he talks to Shoshana, Kamil says that he and Annalise are, quote, in the friendship zone.
Yeah.
Which is not what Annalise would tell anyone.
Probably not. She's already engaged in her head.
Oh, yeah. She says it's been a really long time since she felt this way about anyone. She has 2
kids and has a home in Connecticut.
She says it's been a really long time since she felt this way about anyone, which I think means 2-3 days.
She has so much feelings. She has so
many feelings.
Oh my God. She says, I care for him so much.
Yeah. And I just don't understand how you feel that close to someone after like 2 days.
She's
like
brainwashed.
They just met.
This show has brainwashed her.
She's a crazy person.
Kind of. I don't want to call her crazy.
She is. There's a level of Annalise that lives inside of every woman.
Okay. But like we
don't let our Annalise out. We don't let our Annalise out. Our Annalise stays in.
Yeah.
Or we look like crazy bitches. And there are times that snippets of our Annalise comes out. Sure. You know?
Yeah.
And then we look crazy. But you got to keep her tucked inside.
But she is Annalise.
She's her Annalise, and so it's just all she is, and she can't keep it in.
Yeah.
She's just I get all it. Annalise all the time.
I get it, because like whenever, like before, when I go on a really good date, I'm like, oh, fuck, that was amazing. And then like, I don't know, you want to talk and text and like all the time or whatever. But then it's just like, it's how you feel, not how they feel. And so I get it. Also, it's just like, even, was it like internet dating? It's like, oh my God, someone actually responded to me. Never mind. I won't talk about it.
You won't talk about internet dating?
I definitely don't want to talk about that. But it was just something about like, it was a Freakonomics podcast about online dating, about how like, how much a woman, how bad does a woman's profile have to be for it to affect her response rate? And it's surprisingly bad that she needs to believe in eugenics and whatever. But you know what offsets all of those things?
Her being hot.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Because they just want to have sex with her. They don't actually want a relationship.
They don't even read. That's why.
Oh. They just see a picture and they're like, yes, please. Thank you.
They just message her.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
I also want to mention, because Kristen gets very little attention on the date, and that's fine. We don't need to see more of Kristen, because we saw Kristen on The Bachelor. We saw Kristen on Bachelor in Paradise. We saw Kristen on The Proposal. Mm-hmm. And now Kristen's back on Bachelor in Paradise. We don't need any more Kristen.
No.
Please don't make her the next Bachelorette. Dear God, please don't make her the next Bachelorette. If we learned anything from this experience, is that people aren't interested in Kristen.
No. Not even John?
No.
Not even Kamil?
No. No one's interested in Kristen.
Yeah.
She's fine. There's nothing wrong with Kristen. It's just, meh.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't even really think... Was she trying to get with, not Adam, but...
Oh, yeah. What was her drama? She was trying to get with someone who was already taken.
Who was Jasmine with?
Matt.
Yeah. She was trying to get with Matt. Mm-hmm. And then... Whatever. And then I think Jasmine was kind of in with the rest of with like Raven and them. Mm-hmm. So like that got her on the bad side of everybody because Raven was like, you know.
I think I also would just not want to be on Jasmine's bad side.
That too.
I've seen her put a chokey on someone.
Oh God. Is that when like that's when Matt was like, nope.
Oh no, that was with Nick, and Nick just sent her home at that time. He's like, he like de-escalated the situation in a very classy way, and was like, I just don't see this working between us. But he did it in a really such a good way.
She did that to Nick.
Yeah. Like during they were on a group date, and she pulled him aside, and then she it was when she got really in her head about like Nick doesn't like me or whatever. Like I need more time with Nick, and she ended up fake choking him, and
I don't remember this.
He just did such a good job of like bringing the situation down and like getting her to a good place again, and then breaking it off with her, and she was like, okay, I understand, like left, like in a way that it was like, whoa, what just happened? What magic did he just do? Uh-huh. So like I would not have been so graceful about it.
No, I would have like ran away.
It was really good.
Okay.
I think Nick was underrated, honestly.
A little
looking
bit.
back on it.
Now
that I have more experience on The Bachelor, Nick was really good.
More experience?
Nick, not really good. Nick was fine. Better than I thought.
Who were we talking about?
We were talking about Shoshana and Kristen and Kamil. And Kristen asks John on the date. Uh-huh. Which makes this at least John's fourth date on Paradise.
And I think it's the fifth.
And he never had a date on Bachelorette.
No. He had a couple of group dates, but that was it.
That we remember are Caroline, Jubilee, Olivia, and now Kristen. Yeah. Those are the ones that we remember, but there's a good chance that we're missing another one in there.
Yeah.
Like there's probably one before Caroline, right?
I think so.
But I can't, because I know like Kendall like kissed him or whatever, but I don't know if he actually had a date before her. I don't know who gave, let me see who gave him their rose in the beginning. Maybe he had a date with them. Is that dog-eared for a reason? Jesus. So many Bachelor notes. Angela gave her rose to John. And so that was just like, we didn't know who Angela was going to give her rose to. And she gave it to John. Yeah. Okay. Great. And then, anyway, so they go on double date. There's a banana boat, champagne.
Banana boat.
What would you call it?
No, it's a banana boat.
Okay.
Or just the banana.
Okay. Is that what they called it? Because I was in the bathroom when the date started.
It's kind of weird that it's like, it's a thing. Like, people get towed on it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I was towed on it in the
Really?
Philippines. And, like, I wanted to, like, we were going pretty fast. But, like, I was on the banana with a bunch of other people. And then I was like, go faster. And then they, like, everyone was like, no. I was like, what's the fucking point? Like, you're going to fall. We all have life jackets on. We might as well just go fast.
I don't want to fall.
Yeah. But you got a life jacket on.
But I don't want to fall.
It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, but it's a thing. It's weird. It's weird that it's like it's probably mass produced somewhere. You know,
Someone's making
there is
money
a
off these
factory
banana
somewhere that
boats.
makes those banana boats. Right?
That's funny.
But okay, so besides seeing them kind of being cute on the boat, being on the banana, and then laying on the beach for a little bit. And I think I saw a moment where Kristen was rubbing sunscreen on John.
Okay.
That's all we saw about the date.
It was a pretty limited, we got a pretty limited view into this date.
Yeah. And
We
then
didn't see
at
a lot.
nighttime, is it nighttime that they come back?
I think it might have been, I'm having trouble remembering. I think it was, though.
What
I think
the
they came
fuck
back at night.
were they doing?
I don't know. I do want to say the only thing I wrote down about this date was when Kamil was talking to Shoshana, and this is how he recaps his relationship with Annalise. We met, we went on a date, and that's it.
Yeah.
These men need to stop downplaying their relationships. Like, we have Angela, who basically thought she, like, was at least going to leave the beach with Eric. Like, I don't think she assumed they were going to be together forever. You know, she wasn't thinking about that part
But
yet.
they were together the whole time.
They were together.
Essentially.
Yeah. And then Annalise is like, has named her children with Kamil already, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, they're weird.
She's already picked out matching outfits for them. She's figured out how their portraits are going to look when they do the family portraits. Yeah, she's probably already found a job there. And Kamil just says they went on a date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I understand Kamil might not have the same feelings as Annalise does. Annalise has intense feelings. Mm-hmm. But it does seem like there's more than just they went on a date. Yeah. But maybe not. Maybe we're seeing more of Annalise, and so we're understanding her side more than his. I don't know, but I need these men to stop downplaying what's going on in their lives.
Yeah. It's kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm. Do you tell people I'm your friend?
Yeah, we just got on a couple dates.
She's my roommate.
Well, after the date, Kamil comes back and he pulls Annalise aside, I think like right away.
Yeah, I mean, not like immediately, but way faster than Eric.
Yeah. Eric's stupid. And Camille's like, I'm glad to be back. And so, like, I think it was just like exactly what Annalise was hoping that he would say, you know?
Yeah.
And then that night, they spend the night together.
Yeah. Yeah, he says he just didn't feel connection with Shoshana, which I really thought that Shoshana was going to pose more of a threat to their relationship than she did.
She's pretty.
Yeah. And they seem to be getting along just fine.
Friendly.
Yeah.
But
if you don't feel it, you don't feel it. Mm-hmm. So even if he doesn't feel in love with Annalise, like it seems like he feels something for her.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then they go to bed. That's what I put.
Let's see.
So after they get back from the date, there's like John and Kristen are back from the date.
Yeah.
And so Olivia kind of pulls John out and she tells him that she like missed him and, you know, she's glad he's back, whatever. And I guess I hadn't realized that they were actually like coupled up. Like I knew they went on a date, but we didn't see much of them to know what was going on in the relationship
together at all.
Yeah. Well, and I think that could just be how it was put together. Mm-hmm. There's a very good chance they've been spending a lot of time together, and that because they are a double minority couple, we're just not seeing what's happening in their.
And we thought we thought that about him and Jubilee too.
Yeah. And they like just gave us like this flashback clip of them breaking up and her leaving. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they just don't show us these things. So it's hard to know. But she says she wants. So Olivia is like recapping to other people and saying that he wants to move forward with her and no one else. And then immediately we see, and I don't know how immediate this was in like IRL, but what we see is John and Kristen walking along the beach and then kissing.
I didn't see them kiss.
Yeah, oh yeah, they didn't kiss on the beach, but then they walked up and then they kissed.
Oh, okay, right before they went to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
So John's a bit of a scoundrel.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't appreciate his actions. He toys with women's emotions, and that sucks. Because I thought he was a nice guy until Paradise, and turns out he's just a player.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that sucks.
Yeah. It's just too bad.
Yeah.
I thought, this is like not even trying to defend him at all, but like maybe he just doesn't feel anything with any of the women.
Tell them.
So like, I don't know if he has told them that or not.
It sure as hell doesn't look like he's told them that. Because in every rose ceremony, they've gotten to the end and like multiple women think they're getting his rose.
Yeah.
And he's not honest with them. I don't think he respects them, and that sucks.
Yeah. I think the least he could do is probably, even if it's not on the camera or if it's on the camera, it's like saying that you're going to get my rose or something like that.
Or like, even if he doesn't know who's going to get it, if he can tell people who are definitely not going to get it. Or like, not keep making out with people that you don't have feelings for.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I understand he's just having fun, but people get attached. Like Jubilee. You know? Like, she seemed upset when she went home, but we didn't get to see much of that. But she went home after he broke it off with her, which means she was not interested in dating anyone but him.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Like, we were rooting for him so much. We love John. And then now, like, it finds out he kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he still looks like a nice guy, though.
He was just, like, exploring a little too much.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking for the right thing.
He's basically like on vacation in Fort Lauderdale kind of thing. Or like, oh, spring break, I'm having fun. And like these women are like trying to find their soulmate.
Yeah.
It sucks.
But I feel like and then he's also kind of portraying, at least a little bit, that he is looking for that as well.
Yeah.
Which is a bad signal to be giving off.
And he seems like such a nice, sincere guy. That it's like easy to fall for it when he's like even just like kisses you just think that he means it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, you're a nice guy. That sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So anyway, the next thing is like the cocktail time before the rose ceremony. This is where we find out that I guess Cassandra and Eric are a thing.
What she says is, we started out really good and then I got mad.
Yeah. And this is like...
Which she should be mad. Everybody should be mad.
But this is what happens when men like gaslight women to make them think that it's their fault that they were upset about something. And then she says like, I got mad. Instead of, then Eric was a dirty little bitch.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened. Eric was dishonest and couldn't man up to how he was actually feeling.
Yeah, which is not that, I mean, depending on the person, it's really not that hard to admit that you were wrong. I admit to you that I'm wrong all the time.
And I appreciate that. And I admit to you when I'm wrong, when I feel that I'm wrong, which isn't that often. But when I feel that I'm wrong, I will admit it. It's not easy for me, but I do it.
But of course, we don't see them at all before the rose ceremony, the cocktail hour?
Cocktail hour.
Cocktail
It's fine.
Party.
Mm.
And then finally, she's like, "Oh, now I'm interested in your rose."
Yeah. Let's do some yoga.
Plan this thing for you.
Let's do some meditation. None of these people know what namaste means, and it really irritates me.
What does namaste mean?
Namaste means the spirit in me recognizes the spirit in you. Yeah. But they use it just as like a general term. Like even Crystal, she's like, we namaste'd very hard or something like that. And she's like, I'm ready to namaste out or whatever. It's like they just use it as like a word that I just around yoga. And it really annoys me. And I don't think it's fair that it annoys me. I think that I should just get over it, but it annoys me.
I feel like it's not that hard. I feel like all yoga instructors should know what that means, and they should probably share that.
Crystal should know what it means. Should know. Maybe she's just trying to be funny. I don't know.
And then they should share that with all of the people that go to their yoga classes. So.
Which is how I know what it means.
Yeah.
And I guess it's possible that a yoga teacher lied to me, but...
Also, like, I guess they can't say that every single class.
No, but... I mean, Crystal should have learned it in her yoga teacher training.
Probably. Okay. I think that's about it for them, right?
Yeah. Angela's worried about her rose, but it doesn't seem like she wants it from Eric. She just wants to stay and find love.
Right. But luckily, someone walks in.
Oh, what we saw some things before that. Calm down.
Okay, I didn't do this in chronological order.
Okay, I did. So Kristen teaches John to dance, and then Olivia pulls him aside and steps in with like a piñata.
And guess what was inside?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Kisses.
Oh.
I didn't get it either. Until it was just like there was nothing inside.
Is that what she said?
I think so.
Okay.
He was like, okay. I don't know.
That's really funny.
But he got kisses.
Shoshana wants to talk to Kamil. And like she's like talking like Wells about it, and like Olivia's like, you should do it. You should talk to Kamil. Like, this is your time.
Yeah. And
so she talks to Kamil, and like he's like didn't feel a certain way about her.
Sure.
You know, like he's upfront about it, and I really appreciate that. She starts to cry, and he tries to hug her, and it became very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Then, just because you feel that a woman is crying about you does not mean that you need to touch her.
Or hug her. You don't need to comfort her. If she's asking you to not touch her, don't touch her.
Especially when she asks you to not touch her. Don't keep trying to touch her.
Yeah.
Like... One, everyone handles emotions differently. Not everyone wants to be touched when they're upset. Two, if she is upset actually about you, she really probably might not want you to touch her because you have just upset her. And I don't think Kamil necessarily upset her. I think she was just like, I came here one day, I spent time with this person, and now I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I think is what it was.
And then she was just getting,
I think she's like emotional, like I think she wanted to find love and she just like felt rejected maybe, but I don't think it was like Kamil specifically.
Yeah.
But I got very uncomfortable. Like I put my hand out because I wanted to push him away. It was like instinctual. It's like, no.
Stop. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's very cringy. Okay. And then we get a surprise.
Jordan, I put NZ from New Zealand because how else am I gonna differentiate?
Yeah, I have A Jordan and Z Jordan.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
cool. He comes in. I guess he's an okay looking guy.
Yeah, he's okay. If he had an American accent, nobody'd give a shit about him.
Yeah,
his accent makes him more attractive.
Yes.
Especially, he doesn't look good bald. He looked better with hair.
He did. He looked much better with hair.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he decided to go bald.
It's hot.
Maybe he's just balding.
It's probably because he's balding.
But all the women were actually very interested in him. Yeah. Like, even Annalise was just like, who's this?
It's the accent. Like, that's it.
Yeah. But Chelsea seemed very interested. Did Chelsea go home? Chelsea's going home. Chelsea was very interested, and I thought she made a very good impression on him.
I thought she did too. Yeah.
Well, he basically talked to all of the available women.
Yes.
So
his interaction with Kristen, where they were, he was like trying to get her to like say things in a New Zealand accent.
She wasn't even trying.
It was funny. So I have a couple of stories.
Yeah.
I had a teacher from New Zealand, and she was kind of my role model. Like, she's the reason that I ended up getting a bachelor's in linguistics.
Okay.
Because she was such a wonderful teacher. And so there's one of the differences between American English and New Zealand English is the sound of an E. So an E, ours is eh, theirs is I.
Eh.
Yeah. So a like cute innocent example is when they also they call a mailbox a letterbox. So she would ask people where the litter box was.
Okay.
A funnier, less innocent example is I did an internship for her because she was working on her dissertation, and she had collected all of this. Let me show you how to PhD. I think it doesn't matter. She had done research, and she had collected all this data where she had interviewed people from different regions, from Cleveland, from Cincinnati, from Australia, and from New Zealand. Mm. And they asked them questions, and then they had them read this list of words, and they all read the same words. And but they didn't always read them in the same order. And so I just had to transcribe what I heard. And that was it. So that when they'd have a record, it's very helpful when you're submitting your research that you have transcriptions of the interviews.
Yeah.
One of the words was deck. So I'm listening to it, this New Zealand person, and I hear dick. Mm-hmm. And I paused it. I was like, Abby, can you tell me what this word is? I think I'm hearing it wrong. And I just thought it was really funny. Like, every time a New Zealand person says the word deck, they're saying dick.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny. Dick.
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 And if you listen to this episode, you can hear him saying, because they're saying, like, I put my kid to bed. Yeah.
That's weird. Is that when she shared with you, like, that difference?
Oh, no. She just said that, that's how they say deck. Like, she laughed. She understood what the thing was.
What the confusion was.
Yeah. She thought it was funny. Yeah.
I feel like that's on purpose. I feel like that was on purpose.
Oh, it probably was. It probably was. Because, like, there are so many words to choose.
And you chose deck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you could have chose fleck and become flick. Right? Mm-hmm. Those are innocent words. Yeah. You chose deck.
Yeah. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So Jordan talks to all these people from, like, all the single ladies.
Angela did not make a very good impression to me. She seemed a little desperate.
Yes, agreed.
In her first impression.
Yeah.
I'm sure she normally is not so overbearing, over giddy. She seemed like too happy. Like, she was trying to be pleasant.
There wasn't she didn't seem sincere or genuine.
Yeah.
Oh, I also want to talk about this New Zealand phrase. I'm not here to fuck spiders.
I'm not here to fuck with spiders.
Like, what does that mean? Like, okay, he explained what it means. He's not here to fuck around.
Yeah.
But, like, where does that come from?
I don't know.
Where does that come from? Like, what is the origin of that phrase?
I mean, there's like, was it, we're in Barney, or in Barney Rubble, trouble, we're in trouble. Like, that's a,
so you think
that's a UK, maybe, that's a UK thing.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe there's like, God, what would that be?
I don't know.
Wow.
Anyways.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, it is a weird phrase. I mean, he doesn't explain it.
He doesn't. He probably doesn't know the origin either.
And then the last person he talks to is Shu. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I guess she makes a good impression.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this Chelsea Kamil thing.
Mm-hmm. Where did that come from?
I have no idea. I guess she just saw like a weak chain, like a weak link in a chain.
The weakest couple.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm going to go for that one.
At least the newest couple.
Because I just find it hard to believe that she's really that interested in Kamil.
Because I think maybe she's tried with John and it's just never worked. They just don't have anything to talk about.
Oh, and John has 2 women currently competing for him.
That too.
So why not go for someone who just has one?
Mm-hmm. Hey, math. Yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere. They were like, I honestly don't think they were holding hands for very long. I think they just happened to see it right when they were like, hey, come with me. And it was like, okay. Like, oh, come over here. And she like
it was a pinky. Holding on to a pinky.
Was it a pinky?
It was a pinky.
But
which isn't just like guiding someone. That's playful.
But like from far away, it looks like hand holding.
Yeah, but what it actually was holding a pinky, which is not a guiding thing. It's a cutesy thing. Mm-hmm. I think Chelsea was trying to like be like, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, I'm just like bringing light. I'm bringing attention to this thing, this issue, which is like, I'm just trying to make sure you're happy, Annalise, because turns out he's actually interested in other people too.
Yeah.
And it was very underhanded and very dirty of Chelsea to do this.
Yeah. Especially like the result of it, if it did work to like break up, like to inform Annalise that he's actually interested in other women, would result in her staying because he would give her the rose, give Chelsea the rose.
Yeah, and then Annalise would be upset.
Yeah.
You're just displacing your unhappiness to someone else, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Chelsea talks to Annalise, and like she says, like, seems like he's interested in other people. He says that like, you say it's just to be friends, but it seems like he actually wants to get to know other people. And then she goes and talks to Kamil again.
Well, and then before that, even that happens, he's talking to,
oh my God,
what's it called?
Kristen.
And it was so funny because like during their conversation, it was just in the background. They just happened to be, what the fuck? They're fucking flossing.
Yeah, very, very poorly.
Yeah.
That it was not flossing. You're not going to get any plaque out of your teeth with that.
I mean, they're flossing their crotch.
They weren't doing it. No,
that's what I feel like. Right. That's what flossing is.
Oh, yeah. But they weren't doing that. They had both hands in front at the same time and both hands in back at the same time.
Yeah.
They weren't flossing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just the air. Yeah, I don't know. So, rose ceremony? Did you have anything else?
Let me check.
Okay.
Let me check.
Okay.
This is
oh my God. I'm so boring.
One of those moments that my thing is not working.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. So, rose ceremony, we have some very expected things. Kevin and Astrid, American Jordan and Jenna, Chris and Crystal, Joe and Kendall.
Oh my God.
And then Eric chooses Cassandra, which was, he wasn't going to choose Angela because she was not going to accept his rose.
And then Cassandra was the only person that made an effort.
Yeah. And I told Ryan that Angela should have tried to get Eric to give her rose so that on the next day she could be like, I'm just feeling a little bit different today.
Yeah.
Ooh, but that's not what happened. New Zealand Jordan chose Shoshana, which we guessed because this whole like witchcraft thing hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
And it still needs to. So, and it looks like she's still hung up over Kamil, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't get it.
John chooses Olivia, which we were happy about because we're not super fans of Kristen, but also I like Olivia.
I like Olivia more than Kristen. But I was expecting it to be Kristen because it was just like, I don't know. They had to. I feel like they were maybe signed a contract with her that she would stay at least one night or something.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it above them to try to convince John to keep Kristen. And then Kamil chooses Annalise. Thank fucking God.
Yeah.
So then going home is Angela, Kristen, and Chelsea. Angela leaves like without incident. Kristen gets like really dizzy and nauseous and has her ear ringing.
Just gotta get that 5 minutes.
Yeah. And
15 seconds.
Yeah. Like, I want to believe her. But
I want to believe her too.
I also feel like she's just playing it.
Suddenly, she's going home and then this happens to her.
Yeah. I just don't get people who want that kind of attention.
I hate it.
It's so weird. And then Chelsea has like a panic attack or something. I don't know what's happening. She like can't breathe. She's like hyperventilating because I don't know. I think she felt like it was all for nothing. I think is what it is. I want to believe
her too. It does seem a lot more real than Kristen.
But I think it played out longer than it had. I think like it started real and then she just kept it going because she didn't know how to end it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Chelsea's thing was that she spent all this time away from her child
for nothing.
Probably
money.
Yeah.
But nothing.
And I think it was just kind of like, what the hell did I do?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I get that.
But I don't know that it warranted that kind of response. But I hope it was a real response from both of these women, because otherwise, what the fuck?
Why?
What the fuck?
Well, we see some crazy previews.
Yeah.
Which we will see later.
Shit gets nuts. I really wish they could figure out a way to make this all into one episode.
Yeah, can't they make it? No.
I don't have time in my life for all of this.
That or
5 hours in a week? Are you kidding me?
It would at least make it more pleasant if they were working hard to get people to actually fall in love with each other.
Yes.
Because also, because, you know, some people will just start working. John's not working.
Yeah.
We should go home.
If we didn't have this podcast, I would have stopped watching.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be this long. It can't.
Right now, yeah, totally. Because it was just, there's no point.
Once the couples were happy, they should have stopped.
They should leave.
Said, okay, fantasy
They should
suites.
leave, bring him new people.
No. I'm done. Fantasy suites.
That too.
I really liked last summer when this was a nice short 5-episode thing.
Yeah.
It was like stressful for a couple weeks and then it was done. But I'm over it. I am. We still have at least 3 more episodes because we have last Tuesday's episode, this Monday's episode, this Tuesday's episode, and who knows if there's more. At this point, it has been longer than a regular season of The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Because it will have been 11 episodes. So it's basically 10 plus the Men Tell All. So it's, I guess, equal to a season of The Bachelor. But
that's true. Usually 12.
This was supposed to be a quick, fun thing.
Men
a summer
Tell All,
fling.
And then After the Rose.
It doesn't need its own whole fucking season. Sorry, I'm grumpy. It's 3 a.m. in Ohio, and I'm still on Eastern time. I just flew in yesterday night.
Oh no. I saw spoilers.
Oh, why? Why?
I was just trying to find the schedule.
Okay, just don't tell me about it.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. You can know spoilers. It's okay. All right, I think we're done.
I think nothing else happens.
I'm sorry this episode wasn't entertaining, but we did it. And we'll try and do other ones. We'll take shots next time. We'll pregame some giggles or something. I don't know. Just laugh at each other a lot until we're hyper.
Yawning.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, this isn't going to get any better. Oh, but things. So, rate, review, and subscribe. I don't know why you would want to after listening to this one. Our Twitter is at Roses and Thorns Pod. We're not checking it until spoilers are over. I'm selling it, baby.
So
I'm selling it.
We're not funny. We're not responsive on social media.
We have nothing to offer you.
We have inconsistent schedules.
Nonetheless, thank you to Sweden for continuing to listen to us.
Fuck, Sweden.
We appreciate that.
What's up?
Appreciate that very much. Top 5 currently are Washington. Thank you. Texas. Nice. I don't even think we know anyone in Texas, so these are all randoms.
I know people from
great.
Texas, but nobody.
Yeah,
in
but nobody
Texas.
in Texas, so thank you. California, Ohio, and Maryland.
Yeah, California.
Appreciate you very much.
Where did that come from?
I mean, it could just be Lisa listening while she's at work.
Oh,
Ohio seems explainable.
yes.
Thank you, Josh Phillips. Maryland, I don't think I know anybody there right now. So thank you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. We'll try to do better for you next time.
Yeah. We're getting back in the groove of things.
Yeah. It's been a long couple of weeks. So we'll try to come back energized next time. So thank you and good night.
Good night. Bye. Thank you. Bye.